Hey, home bakers. Bread sauce might sound a little bit weird in the same way that cheese cake might if you've never had it before. But for your roast chicken dinner or Christmas turkey, bread sauce truly is the greatest condiment ever to come out of Great Britain. Roll that theme tune. Here's what I love about bread sauce. Aside from the fact that it's delicious and a little bit nostalgic, it's old school. You can clearly see and believe that this is a condiment evolved from a point in history where perhaps food wasn't as plentiful as it is for most of us today. It's a piece of old bread, some milk, an onion, and whatever's kicking around in the cupboard to offer some sort of fragrance. It's delicious with roast meats and cold cuts. A perfect example of making something out of nothing, and that's a concept that I love so much. Cut to the table. You're going to need an old piece of bread for this. If it has crusts that are thin, whiz them up and they make crumbs nice and easy. If on the other hand it's got a thick, rock solid crust, cut those crusts off and just use the bread inside. In a medium saucepan, put 450 milliliters or grams of milk. There's really not that much difference between the two, though whatever is easiest for you. Peel an onion, wedge it up and pop it in the milk along with 3 whole cloves. Some people keep the onions whole and stud it with cloves, but if you cut the onions, the surface area allows maximum infusion into the milk. A single bay leaf is enough to impart some old school savoury flavour, and if you've got some peppercorns, pop a couple of those in too. I've got cracked black pepper, so a little pinch will do. And also in the fridge, had some thyme leaves kicking around, so I just popped a sprig of that in for a little additional fragrance. Now turn on the heat and slowly bring it to the boil with a good pinch of salt to start that all-important seasoning process. When it starts to bubble, turn off the heat. 10 to 15 minutes rest will allow the infusion of aromatics that make the milk wicked tasty. While that's happening, cut and whiz up your bread into crumbs. You'll need 100 grams in total. Pass your milk through a sieve into a bowl or jug. Pop the rubbish into your food bin and they turn that into electricity. Did you know that? It's mental. Pour the milk back into the pan, and it's a nice idea to taste the milk now as it comes back up to the boil, for it is, after all, the main contributor of flavour here. It's nice to taste it now to get an idea of how you're getting on with layering the seasoning as you go along. Add the breadcrumbs and simmer gently for 1 to 2 minutes while stirring all the time, and things are going to thicken up pretty rapidly. Remove the sauce from the heat and we'll add a touch of luxury to help finish things off nicely. First, beat in 50 grams of double cream and then 25 grams of cold cubed butter and a fine grating of nutmeg. Taste one final time for seasoning, add some salt if you feel you need to, and serve in a dish on the table. Traditionally served with roast chicken or turkey dinner with all the trimmings, this sauce might not look like much. You'd be forgiven for mistaking it for badly made porridge. Just trust that it brings a creamy texture, a milky, buttery, subtly savoury flavour that is wicked delicious, and even after dinner time, it's not over. When it's cold from the fridge, it's delicious with some cold cuts or in a turkey sandwich, for example. Just like bread, it's a collection of humble ingredients brought together with love to create something really quite exceptional. There are, of course, a few things that you can do to bring this truly historic foundation of a sauce and make it your own. And there is one massive thing to avoid at all costs. You probably already know what that is. Firstly, consistency here is up to you. If you like it super thick, add some extra breadcrumbs. And if you like it a little bit looser than I do, add a little bit of extra milk. Bread choice is up to you too. White bread is probably used most commonly. Mine was white bread with a little bit of rye. Try 50-50 wholemeal and white bread. That probably worked quite nicely, but anything too heavy, like those dense rye breads and stuff like that, probably don't go there. Let this be your base. Think about adding thyme leaves and lemon zest, for example. It will infuse into the milk really nice. Rosemary and garlic. If you're making gammon, for example, use the ham stock in the base and finish it off with chopped parsley to serve with your sliced gammon. And please, if you are going to do this, do not, under any circumstances, use any type of white modern bread. You know what I'm talking about, the sliced white loaf that you get in a supermarket in a plastic bag. If you use that sort of thing, this will turn into glue, and that will be sad for you, and you'll forever spend your whole life thinking bread sauce is properly gross when it's not. It's a beautiful, majestic celebration of something so simple. So there it is, the greatest Great British condiment on the planet in my eyes. But you know, I am probably quite a little bit biased. This might seem a little bit weird for you. If you've never tried it before, give it a go. It's so easy to do. You might as well, and you just might discover something delicious. Thank you to all Bake with Jack patrons for help making all this possible, and to all of you for simply being here. See ya.